It's a part of the thing. And this segment known as junk mail, we have a particular thing that we want to address. Our junk mail is where we encourage men. This is not a practice. They should continue if they are doing so. And today inside junk mail, the topic is men who always say them not have no money, even when they do. Men who always say them have no money, even when them do. You know, the child said, Daddy, I could have an ice cream. Boy, no, some now no money. And that time I'm about $10,000 in the pocket, you know. It's not as if he has some notion that he's going to spend it. It's extra cash. Or Daddy, may I have a doll? Daddy, look at that pretty. And baby, ask your mother. Now no money. What what do we say to men who always say them don't have any money? Them not have nothing. When inside of the pocket are, you know, we practice swiping, you know, that on the card there is more than enough, and it's extra money that can be spent. It's not money that you're putting towards saving. It's not cash that you want. What do we say to those?
That's an interesting theory about not money that can be spent. Because what is that? What is money that can be spent? No matter how much money you have, you determine what you want to do with your money. That's one. But two, if you are denying your loved ones access to things that they need, not frivolous requests, access to things that they need, and you have it, then you have a problem as a man. As a man, I believe it's your duty that if you have it, give it. If you have it, give it. And there's even another step where you teach your children especially, but everybody around you, how to earn it so that them don't have to always come beg you it. You understand? There's that culture that needs to come as a man. The mean man that you're talking about that never have it and him always keeping it in a miser way. The wages of sin is death, you know, and that again we come back to you have to find the place where kindness supersedes your miser and avoid misery, because nobody's gonna want to hang around you if that's all you are. If you're somebody that gives otherwise, and then you say, hey, I don't have the money right now, you know, it is incumbent on the persons to understand. But if you always not have it and you just, or if you have it and say you don't have it, then you know, I think that's problematic, and you deserve to be alone, Virgin.
Here you go.
Well, for me, I'm a firm believer in what you speak, that's what you will become.
Yes.
So you're always being a man who always does not have it, you will eventually not have it at some point in time, you know? And to even go back, and then again, so it's a certain habits, you have to think about where this is coming from. As a man, are you saying this because your dad always told you that? You get what I'm saying? So some things you have, some trends you have to look into, because as an educator, my stance is I assess how I learned in my different levels of schooling, and what I don't like, I try not to teach like that. I try to be different. So even if you don't want to give away your money frivolously for every little thing, it can be a case where JR said earlier, where you tie it into learned actions. So you find ways of what's the word, of rewarding them for things, whether it is good grades or for good attitudes or helping out around the house. So you know you can give and because the reality is, you know, you see you're going to mess up that child mentally when they get older, because you're going to pick up that daddy did have it, he just never want to give me.
Daddy didn't mean.
So you have to get out of that mindset. And then again, your blessing is in giving. You know, every Sunday in church we say, or give us creed. You know, you give bountifully, and you'll receive blessings bountifully, because the Lord loves a cheerful giver. So you have to recondition your mind. When I say give of yourself to the point where you're broke and you have nothing to offer, but you know you can still save and give moderately if that's what you want to do.
And to the men listening, whether on Facebook or even those who are abroad who don't understand, Don't make nobody boops you out. In Jamaica, boops means people take your things and bring no value to your life. Don't make nobody at all boops you out. Only give if the person receiving will be grateful, or maybe you have resources, can give other people and don't care, but don't give to ungrateful people who are gonna drain you. Don't let nobody at all, man, woman, child, nobody boops you out. That drains your energy, and you lose a part of your self-esteem when you're giving aimlessly without any kind of direction in your life.
Big words. Gentlemen, I want you to comment on the reality we have in Jamaica. Families separated, persons who have different households, and maybe the man don't have any intimate relationship with the mother of the child, and so the child will be coming for money, and because I am not having that relationship with you, me not have no money. With the children are the poor, and there's a spite in Brian. Speak to that, because it's just a common thing, and especially now during this season. What is it you have to say to men who find themselves in that place, and the children who are suffering?
No, man, first things first. If a man have it and him not give it, then straight up mean man. That's sure that. Yeah, I mean, there are two views, I think, though, that if it is a case where the man believes that holding on to the money, because culture is a hell of a thing, if you hold on to the money and believe that, the more him have it, is the more it's gonna grow. You have that mentality that says, I have $1,000 in my pocket, say, hold on to it, then when we need it, it is gonna be there. If it's that type of mentality, then we need re-socialization and a re-culturing of the mindset of how we deal with money, because a lot of us really don't know how to handle money and how to deal with money. But in the case of having, a child out there and not having any relations with the mother and taking it out on the child, or that type of reality, that's just wrong. The child has nothing to do with your relationship with the mother. Yeah, you're a child. Own up to your responsibilities. The child never asked to be here. The child never asked you to fraternize with mommy and to bring them into the world. The child is just an innocent human being, and the child has a need or has a want, and they come to you and they say, Daddy, so no, hold on on the money because you don't want the woman no say you have the money. I mean, there is the flip side to that, where we need to address the women who use the children, to get the money from the man. But if that is not the case, in any way you take it, you have to take care of your child, because if you are not taking care of your child, then as you guys would say on the mailbox, a junk mail.
That's a good way to think.
Yeah, said it perfect as well. And so we just want to remind men, if you have it and you're not giving it and you're not prioritizing, and a word I haven't heard in such a long time, I think probably 1990, somebody books you out if that's what you believe. Let's own up to responsibilities. Let's also ensure that we give responsibly. Not only, they said drink responsibly, but we also must give responsibly and ensure that we are aiding and helping our child's development. There's a part that we didn't bring in, but we're saying that this is junk. Men will always say
junk mail that.
Yeah, man. Them not have no money, even when they do. And so, gentlemen, we want to move on past that segment. And out of that, so a question came to my mind, because we're talking a lot about the children. What about the young lady? The parent, the spouse, those others who are around us. I know at this time, and it's not one of my most joyous memories, mainly because my mother died a couple of years ago. And since that, we have not had our family occasions of coming together, meals being cooked and all of that. What and how do you help in a situation where it's not the child, it's the lady who is present, who you want to treat, whom, she herself may never had it at the time, and this is an occasion in which you can help her to get past a stage that has been traumatic. I hear the saying all the time, Christmas is for children. What about those adults, individuals in our lives, in terms of giving of time, resources, finances? What do we do? I want that very serious gentleman to answer me, that one that is just so wonderful today. JR, what do we do when It's not
my mother used to bring lunch, dinner for a man named Jegge, who was on what was called poor relief at the time. I never understood it, why she would do that. And there's another man, I don't remember his name. She used to bring food for them. Now, these were men who maybe they had mental issues. I don't know, looking back, because I was a child at the time. But she used to send me with the dinner every Sunday to give to them. And I think I'm reaping some of that blessing from her. God bless her heart. Paulette Watkis. She's now living abroad in Miami. Big up. She listens to Love 101 all the time. But what that taught me was you have to be mindful of those who don't have in these times, especially. Your giving is part of your receiving, but also just give her no matter if you're gonna receive. Because I don't think she was worried about if she's gonna receive. Because it's not like she was rich, but she would cook and share out a plate or two for these two men. I always remember it. And she'd send us up there to bring the food to him, you know. So while she was cooking, she had her children who she alone raising her children. But while she cooking, she thinking, oh, I wonder if that man up on the hill eat yet.
Yeah.
You know? And these were, one of them was like an old man, and the other was a man that was you know, just out of it a little. And she sent food for them. So I'm always mindful of the less fortunate, and charity forms part of how I live. I'm a Rotarian, and I contribute to other charities as well. And I also help through the church, giving back to school stuff to children in Portland. And I believe those things are important when you have the opportunity. And sometimes, even for the back to school stuff, it didn't cost me money per se. What I did was use my resources, gather corporations to donate stuff and bring it. And we all have power in our own little way. That's what my mother taught me. She had her little dinner. That's what she gave. Whatever you have, whatever resources you have, if you can extend and get somebody to support something, that's what you have. And you should give it. And it can be woman, man, old man, whoever it is that need a helping hand. And you don't have to go there with the camera up in people's face in them less fortunate ways, you know.
Yes.
Just do it. If it's something you're doing for PR, I mean, there's a place for that. But imagine one day you hungry and you see it on Facebook, somebody giving you food on your hungry day. You know, you wouldn't like that. So I don't particularly like to film feeding people who need food. If you don't need food and we're having a good time, of course we can film it and have fun about that. But for people who are in their destitution, you know, help them willingly without even thinking how they can pay you back.
You know, that is something I believe in as well, because for me, I think my mother really took the time to instill that in us. And even with the church community, I'm the Sunday school superintendent. So every December we have a Sunday school treat where we partner with businesses and our MP and our council to get things just to give away to persons to the community, because you have many children who are without. And the reality is Christmas for some is a very happy time, for some is a very sad time. So we have to just see how much we can effect change. I know for my mother, it is so funny because Christmas for our family is not Christmas with just the family. We always have to invite others, you know? My mother is the person who will get a bag of mangoes, for example, at church, and she give away 3/4 of the bag at church and then carry the quarter home, because giving makes her feel so fulfilled. And I asked her about it, and she said when she was growing up in St. Elizabeth, she's a country girl. Mommy, you're listening, I love you. A country girl. You know, she's like, when they were growing up and the food was shared, they had to leave their meat for last. If they ate the meat first, they would have gotten beaten, because if anybody came to the house and there was not enough food, food had to be taken from their plates to give to the person who was there. So they had to leave it there. Yeah. And even now, when we bake every Christmas, about 3 cakes go out of the house for other persons. If it's not a whole cake, they get a slice of a cake. She wants to ensure that everybody gets something. and we invite persons and their family to our family. And you see my father now, he will just invite persons to the house for dinner and don't tell nobody nothing at all, because that is how they were raised. So for me, the giving aspect is so great, and I volunteer every December with a charity called Live to Give Jamaica, and we have like a Christmas treat for children in different communities across Kingston. So the giving thing is so important, because for some, although we might have everything here, we might feel comfortable and nice. For others, it's not like that, and we can create something for them to bring a little cheer to the season.
Yeah, I agree. I think the truth is that Christmas should be the culmination, or even the culmination of your giving, culmination of all that you are as a person, and even more so, usually wait until January to make New Year's resolutions. But Christmas could actually be the start of how you're gonna be treating the year to come. How much you give, how much you care, how much you're willing to offer. Because if we're gonna look at it that this is the reason for the season in terms of Christ giving himself, then we need to give to others. And I mean, as JR mentioned earlier, it's gonna be painful and there's gonna be some form of death, but giving is what really makes some people really have life. So I think it's very important that we understand that it shouldn't be just because, Christmas, even so, but it should be, I guess, the foundation for the year to come, how much we give. Big up my mother to Beverly Cuff, always listening. Big up wifey Basilia Barnaby Cuff, listening. Big up everybody who is listening as it relates to my family. But the truth is, Christmas is just a day. The holiday seasons is just a season, but life continues and life goes on. So it's important that you don't just allow it to be, I guess, the zenith of your giving, but you need to continually raising it to new heights. So Christmas this year may be the start of a foundation. Christmas next year maybe, the culmination of what you've done for the whole year, but it should be a perpetual cycle.
Oh, some very serious and words, Courtney, for us to reflect on. And I realize as we draw down nearer to the end of the program, I want to ask gentlemen, the significance of Christmas for you, and what's the message you want the man them in Jamaica and other places to get out of this for the future, for the following year. But is there a significant message? What would that be that you would want man to hold a meds on from Moran Point to Negril and other places, and to say, consider this kind of message to transform you, to build you, to challenge, encourage, empower you? What would that be, gentlemen?
So I can't tell a man how to live, but I think some basic principles abide. And one is give what you want to receive. So it might not be the same thing, but give goodness, you get goodness. Operate from a place of kindness, class, love, helpfulness, sharing. And if when you check those boxes, it turn up with gift giving, you do that. When you check those boxes, turn up with time giving, you do that. Whatever is necessary. And it's an ongoing thing, because you might be giving your last and somebody might not know, but still work with your principle. You don't focus on the outside and what it look like and all that. You'll be a better man if you work with the principles of being a man, which is be disciplined, be loving, be kind, share, bring value to those you love, bring value to yourself, and operate from that. Not just at Christmas time, but every time.
Oh,
awesome words.
Thank you.
Awesome words. Thank you, JR. Jason.
Yes. For me, I think the biggest takeaway for me, as a young man, not yet a father, but someone who's around many fathers and who has an amazing father. Daddy, big up yourself, Bishop Brown. You're listening. What I would say is 2020 has really reinforced the fragility of life to me. And the things that we would have taken for granted, the time we think that we have, we don't have. So for the men who are listening now, if you find yourselves in this situation or you're feeling guilty about what's being said, you have time to change and you can build the life you want for yourselves and the ones around you. So as men, it's not just to say that we are men or just to give financial support or to say that I have many kids. We have a right to build good experiences for ourselves and the ones around us, because we are impacting lives, whether we think it or not. And society is looking on us as men, and they're judging our character as that. So we have to do all that we can do to cultivate a good life for the ones around us and for ourselves. So in this time, take the time to spend it with your loved ones. You know, do things that will have the memories living on forever. When your children are older, what would they say about daddy? What would my friends say about me? What would society say about me? We have to stop to think about our purpose, the value we're adding, and what we can do to better ourselves first, so that we can be better for other persons. So that is it for me. Live well, love God, serve God, love Him, work on a relationship with God, then work on yourselves, and by extension, offer your best selves to others out of the abundance of your heart and what you have.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
I think listening to Jason is life lessons with Jason on YouTube, and Jason is just dropping some
Yes,
life lessons.
subscribe.
Also, on my wife and I, when we do stuff from the cups on our YouTube channel, one of the things we do is try to change the narrative. Yeah, so I just think all our men, you know, it's important that we understand two things. We need to change the narrative. It can't be just said that men are this and men are that. We need to understand who we are firstly. So the first thing is understand who you are as a man. And if you understand who you are as a man, and that don't mean the bravado, that don't mean having all the money and all the things to show. It goes back to what JR said. It goes back to the traits and the principles and the core foundation and the values. Because in the beginning, when God fashioned man, He blew Himself into man, and God is love, God is patient, God is kind. Are we showing love? Are we offering love during this time? Are we being patient? Are we being kind? Are we, not being easily angered? Are we really being men in the right way? Because it's not about showing that you're man a man. Yeah, even though we say it even on the mailbox, man there. Yeah. We have a different view as to what men are. We are not saying that we are physically just assertive or we have the money. We are saying that man there, we are assertive in the right way. We are leaders. We are dominating different spaces. And most importantly, we are God-like. We're not just humans. We are God-given. We are God-inspired. And we have elements of God in us. So we have to show that by changing the narrative and just being different and being loving, being caring, being all that is good, and have a happy holidays.
Oh wow. 3 wonderful men, Kevin. 3 wonderful men.
Awesome.
It's just been a good time. And we're here. I just want to big up our family who every year, not on the day of Christmas Day as the 25th, but usually on the 26th, which is Boxing Day, they feed over 300 individuals every year for the past over 26 years. It's more than 26 years. The Donor family, that's my wife's family, former family, my wife added family, which she's no more, yeah? For the past 26 years and more, they have been feeding over 300 persons at that time on Boxing Day. I listened to JR speak and Jason and Brown. Gentlemen, I thank you for helping to change the narrative. You are men of value. You're men of worth. It was good having you. So we want to say thanks.
I want to big up my kids who are listening before we end.
Right.
Big up Hannah Grace, Marky, Zachary, Josiah Watkis. They're listening right now. Big up, big up.
Greetings from the mailbox. All right.
And I have to big up my 2 girls. Big up Bria and Bella. Oh, Jason, you're going to be left out this time, but big up my 2 girls, Bria
my nephew,
and
David.
Bella. There you go. There you go.
You have somebody to hear. Don't make nobody try to pull you out.
No.
We want to say thanks, though. Time has passed us. Thanks for coming. Thanks to our producer, Tony K. Bromfield. We hope all is well, here in Guntown. To Derval Graham and to Daniel Downs for technical support. What a great program it was with our special guest, Brian Cuff, media practitioner, husband, MC, girl dad. Hey, we want to say thanks to Jason Brown, educational manager and consultant, YouTuber, radio host, youth advocate, and we know it as well, although Jabba's gone. JR Watkis, TV host, executive producer of Legends of Jamaica, a comedy album, content creator, author, and boy dad. What a wonderful evening it has been. Kevin,
Awesome,
Boy
Courtney.
and girl dad.
That's it. For information on how to get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-9597 or download the podcast via our mobile app, Love 101 FM. And it has been an awesome program. Listen again next week for another mailbox. You're tuned to the family station, the #1 gospel station in the nation, Love 101 FM. I'm Kevin Bailey.
And I am Courtney Morrison next week, Monday.
Monday.
Bless you all.
I am a man.